So I feel like this has all happened since after the last podcast, all this TurboGrafx stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is all recent enough.
When did we?
Because we talked
Friday.
about it on
It was TNT, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was TNT.
Talked
And
a whole lot about
having it started on the podcast, then leaked over into TNT when Jeff started conspiring to go to Japan.
Yeah.
Right. That is going to happen.
Right.
The raid is going to find funding.
Well, now it has.
So now
yeah.
I've got a line on. I mean, we're also going down the road of like, can we find a way to make this into a show for the site or a short series of us?
But
so
even if
here's
we
the idea,
don't,
Vinny. We're going to go to Japan.
bring your baby.
Okay.
We're just going to go, and it's going to be a raid.
Raid on what?
On used game stores.
They don't have those anymore.
We're going to bring thousands of dollars in cash.
In Japan?
Just bring it to Japan, and it's going to be the raid. The raid.
Jeff wants to go on an old school,
I want to fill a suitcase.
Put one suitcase inside of another suitcase so that you have something to put all of the crazy.
I don't even want to do that. I want to put a duffel bag with 2 changes of clothes inside of a suitcase, and then go there for about 48 hours because that's all the time you need.
Can we stuff the duffel bag full of cash too?
Yes.
Just like walking around with that, so that you're taking out the cash for a game, but then the game goes in the duffel bag, and eventually there's no cash in all games.
Right.
Also we don't even get hotel rooms.
Yeah, just sleep on the street.
No
Wait,
sleeping.
Sleep.
You would be so jet
How long are
lagged
we
out.
there?
Yeah, if we're there for 48 hours.
Oh, wait, that's in and out?
Yeah, if you're just
Yeah, I guess
riding on game stores.
yeah, you just come in hot right from the airport.
Exactly. Just go straight from the airport because you figure most of the flights land about like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. You get on that train. Just probably just jump in a taxi at that point.
Yeah.
Because if you're committed to the raid,
took a
the
bus
$100
once.
cab ride.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever.
I feel like 48 hours is even too much. You can probably hit all those stores in a day at this point.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably
I
right.
think in out same day.
Like
makes it
12
way
hours.
more exciting.
Like enough time to go to the McDonald's.
Because you don't want
and
to
then
make
just go to
you don't wanna make it
Akihabara.
uncomfortable.
I want to go to a beef bowl. I want to get some beef bowls, multiple.
Get some beef bowls, get some curry.
Yeah, I want to hook up some curry.
Oh, it sounds like you're chewing up your time.
I want to go to an arcade or two, play some Virtua Fighter. If we're gonna go, take the 6 to 8 hours extra.
Does Club Sega close?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Been on 24-hour joints.
No. And then also the raid. Film as much of it as possible. The plane ride, everything.
Do we just get like a stack of cash?
I don't know. That's we have to go to the sales department and say you need to find a sponsor for the raid, so that we can fund this whole thing.
That's the pitch. A bunch of white guys are going to Japan for a raid.
Well, what's the objective?
Sell that.
Fucking buy all these TurboGrafx games.
Well, why would you have to do it there?
Because eBay markups are such between the shipping. So I bought a PC Engine Duo R, which is it's the Turbo Duo. It's the TurboGrafx that has the CD unit
and
built in,
or the card.
Yeah, the card and the CD. What goes in the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's a white one that they put out in Japan. And this guy put a new lens in it and also a U.S. import switch for the cards. The CDs are region free, the cards are not.
Okay.
So it solves the problem. Because I have a TurboGrafx with the CD attachment, and at the time I couldn't find the CD system card. I've since found that.
Okay.
But it is an early version of it. You need better system cards to play the later games.
Man.
Because there's more RAM in the card. It's a whole thing. The last version of the system card they did not make for U.S. TurboGrafx systems.
Bummer.
And the converter to put Japanese games into a U.S. TurboGrafx is about $150.
What?
So at that point, why not just get a whole new TurboGrafx, get a Japanese one that does everything I needed to do?
Okay.
That was the logic when I rolled out of bed, saw that it was there, and went, I'm just going to buy this. And then after shipping, it's about $350, which is maybe a little bit more than I want to spend. So $75 shipping on a TurboGrafx of this caliber from Japan to the U.S.
Sure.
In addition to whatever markup there would be by it appearing on eBay. Flights to Japan are about $1,000.
I think there are more now.
No.
Okay.
I
round trip?
Yeah. Okay. I just looked.
He gets live updates every hour.
So, can I go to Japan and buy enough stuff to save $1,000 plus,
I believe in you.
Yeah.
I believe in your ability to do that. Absolutely.
I know I can do that.
But wouldn't you need to A/B this, right? So somebody else on the other end.
Exactly. Like you do that after the fact, like compare it against the eBay prices, see it, like that's the hook. But I'm not going to go in there and look. I'm not going to go in there and like sit there and hem and haw and compare prices. This is a raid.
So is
All
there,
gut checks.
so is there a time limit then on your raid? Not just the time you're there.
It's a money limit.
So how could you not hem and haw? Don't you have to value price all those things?
I'm buying shit because I want it.
Okay.
So it's
So you've got
it's
a
the
shopping list,
desire. It's
basically?
the pure desire.
Okay.
No, that's the thing. I don't have a shopping list. So it's going over there with like a few things in mind. Like I know, generally speaking, I would like to have a larger TurboGrafx library because let's face it, I'm already in for about $450. So might as well go all the way.
Is it like Brewster's Millions? Like if you don't spend that 1,000, then you fail. If you wind up with like,
you have to try and spend as close to the $1,000 because if you don't, then it counts against you.
Yeah.
$1,000 is not enough money.
I think you'd have a
Yeah,
problem.
like that's barely a start.
Oh, saving the $1,000. Yes. That's
Well, I think if you go in there, so you think you can spend $1,000 really quickly?
yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
There'll be games that'll be $200. You know, I mean, I bought Mark of the Wolves for $1,100 or something like that.
But that
and it sells for about half that now.
So this isn't
which
just TurboGrafx stuff. This would be, or you're going there specifically for TurboGrafx.
I mean, that's what I'm going in knowing I want to get more of.
Yeah.
But this is a raid.
Huh.
You don't know what's going to come up.
Yeah, I don't know what I'll see. I'll get some airsoft guns too. Fuck it. Fuck it.
They sell those in Akihabara?
Oh yeah, I bought one my first time.
Yeah,
here.
you go up the
Alright.
street.
You have to
down
get
a little
one.
further. You know where the G Front is, the arcade board store.
Yeah.
It's on that street up a little
Okay.
ways.
I got Solid Snake's USP 45.
Yeah,
Flashlight attachment, silencer, and everything.
where I got my MP5, SD6,
So
Navy trigger.
similarly to Jeff's, and I might even have been responsible for sparking this. I'm not sure to a certain extent. But I last week bought a lot of 100 Super Famicom games.
I sent you that auction after I had already fallen
okay, that's
into
right.
this.
That's
so-
right. You sent me that.
because it's the guy that I bought something from is also selling 100
so he's
Super Famicom tapes.
he's
pretty cool.
He's based, yeah, and I
You don't know what they are, though.
No, so like the auction doesn't list the specific games. There's just pictures of piles of
They're great pictures.
Super Famicom
Fucking mountain
games.
of tapes.
That's
Like,
pretty
look at all
awesome.
these Super Nintendo tapes.
and like even from the pictures, there's clearly like some duplicates of like, okay, I can see 2 copies of Street Fighter 2 here. So it's not
Again,
gonna,
assuming those pictures are accurate.
Right,
I don't
yeah.
think those pictures are the pile.
Well, how
I'm
much
convinced.
was it? How much? Do you mind saying how much the lot was? Was it?
after shipping, I paid $179 for 100 Super Famicom.
So, you know,
That's totally worth it.
$1.80 a game.
yeah,
That's not bad.
Yeah.
As long as you
But-
get like a couple of
but that shipping
bangers out of that,
yeah,
like that's
yeah.
totally worth the price.
So it was 120.
And also, he's starting from 0.
Yeah.
So,
I'm starting from 1.
or yeah, you have
Battle Tetris.
Battle
Battle
Tetris
Gaiden.
Gaiden.
Yeah, I've got Tetris Battle Gaiden, but I have no other. I never had a Super Nintendo back in the day, so I have no old library to tap into for this stuff. So I'm building from scratch, and I
And you
thought,
can play SNES games.
yeah,
like
and,
American
and,
ones,
and,
yeah.
and American carts will fit in there as well. So if I want to go down that route, but Jeff sent me this thing, and I thought this seems like a good way to start, and this will be a crazy collection of some random shit. The thing is that so it was 129 for the actual auction, and it's $50 for the shipping, which seems like a lot, but that's also the slowest shipping they offer. So I'm not going to see those games for like a month and a half. Same as what happened with the Super Famicom itself, where I bought it back in like fucking August or something, and then it didn't show up until like early October.
Well, those games will be old news by then.
They're old news now.
What kind of TVs do you guys have to play this stuff on?
Well, I've got my 80s room.
I've got that big old Sony Wega.
CRT.
Yeah. But I don't care. I actually think those games still look okay on.
It's not the way
and
they
just
look.
Go to a thrift store and you can
Yeah,
get
you can get a TV.
Hello
It's not the way they
CRTs.
look. It's the input lag.
So you're saying
Yeah.
you need $1,000 to go do your own raid, and then you guys will dump your bags out and see.
So as I got caught up in this, and I think it was Friday night that I was, or no, it was like Thursday night last week that this auction was ending, and I had some competition, so I was kind of keeping an eyeball on it of like, okay, I want to make sure I don't get outbid, but I have a limit here. I'm not going to go too crazy on this. I'm certainly not going to hit $200 for this because, for whatever reason in my mind, $2 a cart.
That's too much.
No, thank you. Well, for unknowns, like I'm sure this group Upside of it being, Super Famicom games is that it's not going to be chock full of weird sports games.
Yeah, any US based, like anything under $1, like if you go to JJ Games and sort by price on SNES stuff, it's like the first 2 pages are like 60 cents for this copy of Madden, and then it gets into like, here's Wheel of Fortune for $1.20.
Downside is that I also know it's going to like in that place, instead of obscure or just sports games that I don't care about, it's going to be JRPGs that are indecipherable because they're all
Mahjong games.
I was about to say
they're going to all be in
versions of Mahjong.
They're going to all be in Japanese.
And Mahjong is the equivalent of sports garbage that you get over here.
But M Sports, they call it over there.
But then
Professional Mahjong.
But then I fucked up real bad while I was sitting there, like looking at eBay and watching this go down. I'm like, because the guy has like all over all of his auctions, he has, hey, combined shipping. So if you want to buy other shit from me, make it cheaper for you. I'm like, well,
I didn't hear about this part.
Well, let's go and see what else there is to see if there's something else that makes sense from this guy. And this was kind of late at night, so I was not at my sharpest. And I saw he had another lot that was running that was 120 games. And I thought, fucking, let's double up. Let's make this twice as big a library. Fuck it. Let's get into this. If we're going to do it, let's do it. So I bid on it and ended up winning it. And it wasn't until after I had won it that I realized that it was for Famicom games, not Super Famicom games. So I am now on the hook for 120 original Famicom games, and I do not have an original Famicom.
I got one.
I do.
I do as well.
It would be inconsequential to get one should we go on this raid.
The raid.
Wait, do you have an actual original one?
I have a Famicom Twin.
Like from the 80s?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got that.
It's the one with the disc drive built in.
Yeah. What was that re-release they did? Like 5
AV.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
Yeah, that's what I have.
It's a good unit.
Yeah.
It's
classy. It looks nice.
Mine emits a low hum through the audio.
Nice.
That I'll bring it in, see if we pick it up on our gear, but it made it pretty much unplayable when I was opening it up over the weekend.
But the lot is for the Famicom games was set up in the same way. That's part of the why I got mixed up was that it was. I did not look closely. I just saw pile in the images on the auction. So
Raids, huh?
screwed that one up. So I still haven't paid the dude. I haven't decided if I'm just going to take the eBay hit and just be like,
no, you can't do that.
Dude,
He's not going to ship you
it.
your Super Nintendo stuff if
It's
you
already
do
shipped.
him like that.
No, don't.
It's
bought
already
it.
shipped.
Pay the man.
Yeah.
I'm saying I take the fucking hit. I'm not saying just like be up front and say, hey, I fucked up and I didn't mean to fucking buy
No,
this.
you went through the. Just buy it. Just get it. Just buy a Famicom.
If you want to feel better, those PS3 3D glasses that I bought last week don't work with my TV because I too did not do the requisite research beforehand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It didn't work?
They're infrared, and our TV has Bluetooth. I didn't realize this is the first year that Panasonic changed to Bluetooth, so those glasses totally.
I did specifically see when I was doing a little bit of research that like from the 2010, 2011, and 2012 models of the Panasonic, that's like, all right, these ones are going to work here and here, but not here.
Yeah, 2012, no go. I was so excited about getting a deal, I just went and got them and didn't even look. So there you go. Now you feel better.
Yeah, you should buy those games and then you could distribute them amongst us, and I'm sure we will dig you out of that hole.
Yeah, we can help.
Well, I will say this, that the Famicom games, festive.
Yeah.
Because they're all different colors.
You should do reverse raid
plastic?
and try and
Yeah, the actual
shit.
carts themselves, all different colors.
see how much you can get for selling your stuff in Japan.
Aren't those Famicom
Flip
carts
it.
way smaller
Yeah.
than NES
Yeah,
ones?
they're like,
Yeah. They're shorter and wider. They're
Super cool.
They're-
Little rectangles?
they're
cooler.
closer in form factor to a SNES game
Yeah,
than to an NES game.
All right.
Yeah, they're great. So anyway, so I fell down this TurboGrafx hole, and it's ongoing. And I couldn't find. I had my TurboGrafx, and I had the power supply for it, and no games. So I was like, well, shit. I don't know. Did I get rid of all my games? What happened? I don't know where they could be. So I bought a copy of Keith Courage, which was the pack-in game, off of like Amazon or something for like $6 or $4.
You got to start at the beginning.
Yeah, totally. So, like I said, it was like $4 or something. I just needed a game to plug in and say, does this thing even work? No controller. can't. I mean, the game works, but I was like, okay, I don't know where this controller is. I try and find a controller or something like that. So then I started digging around and eventually found the games, but still no controller. So,
do you think are there like knockoff better TurboGrafx controllers these days?
Well,
Like
they did
somebody
3-button
just like wired to the same pin out, but it's actually a better controller.
They did 3-button and 6-button controllers for it in Japan, but I don't know if the pins on the controller is the same across U.S. and Japan. I haven't seen them recently enough to know for sure, so I kind of have to deal with that too. So anyway, I have a Japanese stuff coming, so whatever. I'll be set on that, so it sort of doesn't matter. Anyway, so I was down to like pretty much like the last mystery box in my garage, and they're clear boxes, and I could see a bunch of PC games and it's like, oh, this is probably just all this PC stuff, whatever. Who knows? So like I said, I popped it open. Had my Jaguar games, had my NES stuff, which was great because I knew I had more than what I had already found, and my TurboGrafx stuff. In there with that is a copy of Magical Chase, still sealed in the plastic.
Now, Magical Chase was a
Brand new.
game that was released in 91 in Japan and then released in 93 in the U.S., but was available only through mail order
primarily
in the U.S.
Yeah, so it's a rare game on its own, in its U.S. form. Japanese copies seem to sell for around $200, and I guess an open copy of Magical Chase U.S. sold for around $3,500 recently.
What?
So a sealed copy of this.
You asked me to name your price.
Could fund the raid.
Wow.
That got into us investigating the Video Game Authority this morning. The guys that grade
games,
the guys who grade old games.
Like
Near
encase them
mint.
in plastic and give them a number and all that sort of stuff. Because I imagine
Goes up to 100.
That's probably the
100. A rating of 100 is equivalent to gem mint.
This is probably not gem mint. It's pushed in a little bit in the center.
Yeah, there is a massive exacting list of things on their site that they look for.
The box doesn't look creased, but it is kind of concave.
It's like everything from yellowing of the shrink wrap to
What
like
if it's got a sticker
like
on
a little
it?
pricing stickers to like
bad.
a ding on the cardboard. Like just about anything that could be wrong with this could detract from the score.
I will say, if you're looking at it, it's in pretty nice shape. So I guess I need to get that graded, I guess, and figure out what the hell.
Regardless, it's worth more than $3,500, which is man.
That's probably like somewhere between 5 and 10 or more.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say probably more than 10.
How'd you acquire it?
Stuff happens. I don't know. You end up with games.
Do you think you can even sell that on eBay? Is that a Christie's auction at this point? Are you?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea how the high-powered world of rare video game auctions work. I know there's retro shows in Vegas and stuff out east, Philly Classic, and that sort of stuff that I think have some sort of auction component. And so I don't know. So now my thought is like if I move this, then I've got plenty of funding for.
No, you got to hold on to it because the longer you hold on to it, the fewer are going to stay.
that's
sealed.
what I said.
Because
Hey,
it's some those
keep it for
sealed
another,
ones.
like-
Put it in plastic.
Keep it another like 10 years or something.
I don't know.
You could say that about something forever.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to pull a trigger and have some fun with it.
Yeah.
I want to go.
That's what you have that stuff
I want to
for.
go on your raid, and I want to spend $1,000 on capsule toys.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be
I will bring a
time
duffel bag.
That would take your entire trip.
Put that,
for
like,
us to sit
put
there
that in like
and
a
do
Santa
that.
sack.
Japan has some amazing capsule toys.
I
right?
know, and
You're right.
amazing capsule shops where you just like Vegas for
I
capsule
probably
toys.
when we went to TGS, I probably spent more money on capsule toys than on any other superfluous. We didn't really do any game buying while we were there, but
Capsule toys.
goddamn, the amount of money I spent on capsule
And
toys.
they have a real, legitimate respect for Dragon Ball Z and Gundam. So I can respect that in their capsule toys.
Well, I've pulled this up on the monitor. This is the
Their viewers at home.
no. Well, this is for the studio's sake.
This is real time Ryan Davis bidding on.
No, this is the finished Famicom, and you can see here just the variety of colors
See, I think those are just capsule toys.
for the.
You don't know the scale on that. There's no quarter in there for scale.
Yeah. It just says Popeye, but you don't.
I
know
have
what-
seen Famicom capsule toys.
Is there Popeye in there?
I don't know. I own Popeye for the Famicom.
I see Popeye.
It's
But
one of the
there's-
it's one of the original early ones that just has because originally they all had kind of default art.
Oh, yeah, that's-
little V thing.
Yeah, this one right here, this blue one.
They look like
Yeah.
big Game Boy Advance games.
Yeah. It's kind of the form factor. But there's a Super Mario Brothers 3 there.
I will bring in my twin Famicom this week, and we can try to hook it up. And
Bring it.
There's
Bring in that magical chase.
Don't bring in that.
in.
Why would that would be
I just
dumb.
want to see it.
Don't put anyone near
I just
that.
want to
Yeah.
see it.
I think that's probably Spy Hunter there.
I just want to say that I was near it.
Some sort of baseball
magical.
game.
maybe I'll bring in the sealed copy of Bonk 3. I
Feel the power radiating from it.
That's
From
probably-
here.
I'll bring in, I also found a sealed copy of Yoshi's Cookie for the NES.
See, that one's weird for you to have,
I don't know.
like,
I don't know.
timing wise.
Pretty late. It's a pretty late model
Yeah,
NES
yeah,
game.
yeah.
What's up with the Bonk 3 is pretty good too, right?
Yeah, that might be like $1,000 or something. I don't
Wasn't
know.
Yoshi's Cookie like one of the last?
It might have been, yeah.
NES
I mean,
games?
yeah, it was certainly. They put it out on the SNES also, so
Yeah.
it was definitely like a
Yeah,
cross
it
generation.
was a real
thing.
late game. There's a Sunsoft
Boy.
afterburner game for the Super Famicom, or for the original Famicom. Here's a game just called Dragon Ball 3.
Sure.
Yeah.
Here's Dragon Quest 2. You know what? I will pay for this just to know what this one is, with the picture of a Japanese dude with a Hitler mustache and the big Shakespeare collar going on over here.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Man, all this because we wanted to stream some TurboGrafx games.